schedule release was last night, and Fox has an amazing lineup led by Eagles at Chiefs in week 2. Rematch from the Super Bowl when the Chiefs got their teeth kicked in. Both teams will be coming off playing early the prior week. Eagles play on the Thursday before the week 2 matchup on Fox. Chiefs play on the Friday, but in Brazil. So technically the Eagles will probably get an extra travel day. I like the Eagles in that game, but then again, I don't like the Chiefs next year at all. I know that's, like, how can you say this about they have Andy Reid and Mahomes? Colin, I liked your opening rant, knocking the Chiefs down a peg. I don't think reality has set in for those folks yet. And we could talk about Taylor Swift and the schedule, but this Fox matchup in week 2 is enormous and will go a long way because we know the Chargers have fared well against the Chiefs. If the Chargers somehow win in Sao Paulo, and the Chiefs are staring at 0-2 against the defending champs, that's a humongous matchup on Fox in week 2.
Well, and also, offensive lines are the one unit that it just takes time. Bears' offensive line, I think, is going to be eventually great, but it'll probably be week 12, 13, 14 when they get Dahlman and Joe Tooney and the rookie from Boston College. It just takes time. Kansas City, week 2. In week 1, Kansas City's got Khalil Mack. In week 2, it's the Eagles. And in week 3, by the way, the Giants now with Abdul Carter, Thibodeau on the other side. That's not a great team. It's an elite.
Okay. Do you not know Jalen Carter's name? Listen, I'm excited for this matchup. And I'm sure my tune will change when we're actually in week 2. I do like that it's week 2 because it's early enough where everyone should be kind of healthy, should be full strength, hopefully, fingers crossed. But it is tough week 2. You're still shaking off a lot of rust, and you're kind of getting into the swing of things here. I don't see these games as necessarily revenge games. I mean, did the Eagles really feel like they got revenge against the Chiefs in 23 when they beat them? I don't think so. I think it's kind of absurd. I feel like when you have a Super Bowl rematch against a team, you should do so at home. And the Eagles had to go to Arrowhead on the road in 23 after they lost the Super Bowl. And now they won the Super Bowl and they have to go on the road in 25. So that's kind of absurd to me, honestly. But Nick Wright's theory is like it's actually better to be on the road against those teams because if you lose, you could be like, well, we were on the road, and like, I mean, like, I guess, but I don't really necessarily look at it through that lens. But yeah, I mean, listen, I understand a lot of people are down on the Kansas City Chiefs, but I still think that they're obviously going to be a competitive and tough team. So week 2, Eagles Chiefs rematch should still be a pretty huge matchup, and I think it's going to be slated to be like, oh, is this a Super Bowl preview or something like that? And I think that's the bummer about it also being so early on in the season that there's really no strong sense of who these two teams are right now. Again, we can have strong feelings about them going into the season, but you really got to wait a little bit, which is why the Bills and the Chiefs, when they played each other, what was it, like week 8, 9, or 10 or whatever it was last season, like you had a pretty good feeling of who those two teams were. The Chiefs at that point were undefeated. The Bills were really settled. Like there was just a feeling of like, we know who these two teams are. And so we're getting a great representation of what these two teams look like when they play each other and what it means in the world of the NFL. It's just not clear to me that we get that in week 2. I mean, just look at the Eagles last season. Were the first 3, 4, 5 games representative of who they were as a team? Like, no, obviously not. And so, I don't know. I think there's, and again, right now in the NFL, there's enough awesome big games to go around that you're guaranteed to have some of these really big games happening in like week 1, 2, 3, 4, like pretty early on. But yeah, I don't know. A part of me feels like the NFL needs to find a way to make some of this stuff a little bit more standardized, where it's like every year you get the Super Bowl rematch, and every year the winner gets home field, maybe unless you've already played them within the last couple of years, and you kept losing, so you give the loser eventually like a home field advantage, at least once or something. And it's always like week 9, or I don't know, like it's always something where it's like, not too soon, not too late. You let everyone get settled. Because I don't know. It's always hard to predict like the momentum and the energy that these teams will have that early on. A lot of it feels also manufactured and forced. In hindsight, that's actually what it was when the Chiefs and the Ravens played each other first game of the season. It was so set up as this rematch, and the Ravens have to prove that they can beat the Chiefs and this or that. And like I even bought into that a little bit, but in hindsight, when I reflect back on it, I'm kind of like, at the end of the day, it didn't really matter. The Chiefs were the Chiefs and the Ravens were the Ravens. And again, I really feel like that Bills-Chiefs game later on in the season was so much greater of a representation of who those teams were than, a week 1 or 2 matchup. And so, I don't know, when the Eagles and the Chiefs play each other, it would be nice. But now on the flip side of that is that the Eagles do have the potential, and this is now going to undercut everything that I just said, that the Eagles have the chance where I feel as though if they dominate the Chiefs, right, if they beat them again and crush them again, it continues to pop that bubble. And it would be one of those things where it would be like, are the Eagles the Chiefs' kryptonite, or proof Chiefs are done, or, proof the dynasty's over, right? Like, it does open up the door for like a little bit more entertaining conversation post game. But like, if the Eagles win a close game or the Chiefs win a close game, it's like, I just feel like a lot of the conversations will be a little bit forced, and my conclusion will be like, well, I don't know who the Chiefs are right now, and you know what? It's week 2 for the Eagles. Like, I don't know, they're still going through some growing pains with a new offensive coordinator and a couple other, rookies or on defense or whatever. Like you could just kind of explain it away a little bit more easily. On the other side of that, if the Chiefs dominate the Eagles and they rock them, then it'll be like clear Super Bowl was just a fluke, and you're like, no, it wasn't a fluke. Like I don't know. The moral of the story for me is when you play a big game very early on in the season, it feels as though that the narratives and the context is more forced than the actual reality of what we're watching. I think that's ultimately how I feel about some of these early big matchups. And so, I don't know. I feel like a Super Bowl rematch should be slated to be just like a little bit later, honestly. But like I said, there's so many big games these days in the NFL that it's pretty much impossible. And I don't want to stack all the games either. So, share the wealth a bit. But yeah, Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl rematch, week 2 highlights, Fox's 2025 NFL slate. Should be a great game either way. It should be in Philly, though. I stand by that firmly. It should absolutely be in Philadelphia. How is it? I don't even understand. How is it not in Philly? I really, that just makes no sense to me. And the Eagles also have to go to Tampa Bay again on the road when they, last year they played them on the road in the 115-degree weather, and then in the playoffs they played them on the road. So it's just like how are those games not home for them? Makes zero sense to me, truly. So yeah. It's tough to look at these schedules and realize that we're so far away. I mean, I can't not, and I've said this in every single schedule video. It's just like we're talking about this, and then I'm looking down at the bottom right of my computer, and I see the time and I see the date, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's May. I'm like, when the schedule gets released like this, I don't know how it lands for you guys, but it feels like next month, essentially, like in a few weeks, this is when the games start, and it's just like, we got months away, so it's tough, man. It's tough. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in week 2? Do you think when they play each other matters or anything like that? Do you think that the Eagles can kind of continue to pop that Chiefs bubble? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.